This is Fit In Online. I'm your host, Jimmy Langan. Today we're here at Impact Fitness. We're going to take you inside. Take us some great trainers, sleds, boxing bags, medicine balls, got all kinds of weights, TRX. Take us some great stuff. Let's go in and have some fun. And we're here with Dr. Taylor Levick in Impact Fitness. And we're just going to have a little bit of talk and see how being a doctor of chiropractic has influenced Taylor with fitness. So Taylor, tell me, studying chiropractic and then getting into fitness as well, how do they merge together? I'm hearing a lot in this community that they tie in hand to hand. Is that right?
So in my perspective, I think that what I do in the clinical setting has a great carryover to what I do here in the gym setting, and then essentially getting people to move better. If you move very poorly, which is going to happen when you're sitting too much, when you've had previous injuries, things of that nature. If I can get you to move better and then transition you back into the fitness setting, you're going to do much, much better in the fitness setting than if you're already moving poorly. It's kind of this revolving cycle where if you move poorly, you're going to get hurt, you're going to have to come see me in the clinical setting. But if we can make sure that you're moving well and that you're not in pain and not compensating with exercise, then this is really where it's at. I don't need you to come to my clinic because you're getting everything that your body needs here. I'll admit that I am a lot different than many chiropractors, that I don't really push, you need to come see me and get adjusted periodically. I would much rather this be your form of wellness care. Come here, get good movement, get strong, get well conditioned, and then you don't need to come see me, hopefully.
I like it. So you're saying your experience in chiropractic allows you to prevent some of the stuff that you see coming into the clinic when
Absolutely.
You're here when you're training people.
Absolutely. I think that I would say the vast majority of musculoskeletal injuries, in fact, I would say all of them, unless you got something like cancer or something weird going on, really boil down to bad movement. People don't have enough mobility in certain joints. They don't have good stability in certain joints, and it just becomes a recipe for disaster. Especially when the boot camps and CrossFit and those things are all the rage nowadays. If people are moving poorly and combining high loads and high volume of exercise on top of that, it really is a recipe for disaster. But, if, again, we can kind of clear up the movement on the front end, then doing all that stuff I think is a fantastic way to stay fit and feel good and not have to go see the doctor.
Sure, and that fits in well here with you in this training facility, because there is a lot of that conditioning / strength training all in one together where you could get injured. Something like
that. Absolutely. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that if you came in here and we allowed you to come in here today and check it out. But in general, we have people go through our Gateway program, which is a 2-week program where we teach people how to move correctly. We teach them the basic form so that we don't just throw them into the fire, because that can be a lot for people who are, haven't exercised in a long time.
All right, Fit In Online. We're here with the trainer, Jeremy Brown. Let me just tell you this. This is why I love fitness. You never know who you're going to meet. Jeremy is actually in the Air Force, and he is studying mechanical engineering right now. And he's training on the side. So he's been at school all day. Now he's here training people. So we love this. So we want to talk about it. How long have you been in the Air Force?
I was in the Air Force for 7 years. I actually just got out in January. I am in the reserves, so I'm doing that on the 1 weekend a month. School full-time with the idea to get back in active duty to be an engineer, finish out the term.
Thank you for your service. Let's talk about what inspired you to get into fitness. Was it the military, or were you always an athlete?
Being in the military, they definitely require fitness out of you, and to a point of functional fitness, you hear a lot of it. You get around these other big guys, 19 years old, and I just wanted to start lifting. So I got in the gym, started lifting, get on deployments, you do the same thing, and it became a point of passion. So I decided to get my certification, and from that I learned more than just throwing weight around, actually how it works, how your body trains. And then from there I've just been hooked, and so ever since I've been doing the training.
Were you able to bring stuff from your military training here to now you're training on the private side?
Absolutely. I was real, let's say, blessed with my experience in the military. I got a lot of jobs that were outside the normal. I was, throughout my ranks and progression, I was able to lead stuff like group fitness classes where you were leading everyone from the lowest ranked person on base all the way to the base commander. So it teaches you almost the mentality you have to talk to people. You have to really communicate. And that was a definite grab when I came here to this gym specifically, where you're group training, you're teaching people. You have to know how to communicate and how to voice what's going on to a crowd who's always in different angles. So that was a definite experience that helped me. And then building the training programs, I was responsible for 390 people for 4 years and their fitness status. And if they failed, it was on me.
Wow.
So that was a great experience. I was definitely blessed to be in that angle of it. Not everyone can see that. Very few people do.
No. That's great. I mean, the fitness community is lucky that you have chosen this path. You know, being in the military and having that leadership background, like you said, having to you know, command group classes, and now you know you're doing it on the civilian side. The fitness community is definitely lucky to have you. All right, Fit In Online. We're here with Patty Tremblay, and we want to talk with you about what got you into fitness.
Well, I got into fitness in the 80s with the advent of aerobics and Nautilus equipment, and I loved the camaraderie of the gym atmosphere. And as I stayed into that, I was able to meet some really wonderful people, probably some of the best friends I've ever met in my life. And along with that, some great strength training, so it was empowering. You got to dance, you got to strength train. You know, I always left there, always left feeling really good.
Is that what led you into training?
What led me into training is that because I had been doing it for so long, a lot of people were always coming up to me and asking me for advice. And I liked the science of training. I liked the application of knowing how I could help somebody get stronger in their life and to motivate them. So I just loved that part of the training.
Sure, and you mentioned to me that you really found a home with functional fitness.
Right.
You didn't want to sit on a machine and just work out. And then on the other end, because of your age, you said that you really didn't feel the competition that CrossFit brings to the table was really for you. So you found a home in between there doing functional fitness.
So up on the board here is the workout that we did today at Impact Fitness. We didn't include the warm-ups and foam rolling and things like that we generally include in our programming before the bulk of the workout, but we generally tend to split it into a strength portion and a conditioning portion. Today we were doing 8 sets of 3, so it was much heavier weight than typical, but we were keeping the volume somewhat low. 8 sets, 3 repetitions each time, and we had everyone building up to their max 3 that they could do. So our first exercise was the overhead press, basically just pressing from the shoulders to a full overhead position. It's a great exercise for not just the upper body, but also for the core, because you have to keep that streamlined position and not default into an overextended position. The 3-point row involves getting down to more or less hand supported on something, butt back behind you, and keeping your back in a neutral position. And what we're doing here is just rowing with one arm. The good thing about that is we get a lot of upper back rotation, which can be really healthy for the back. It's great for the golf population that needs that rotation, but you can also build some great pulling strength in the upper body with that as well. For our conditioning, we just had a circuit. It was 5 exercises. We had, in our 6 o'clock class today, 2 people at each station. So the first one was a single arm TRX squat to row. You were basically holding the TRX suspension cables, performing a squat, coming up, and then pulling through with the arms. A great way to kind of combine lower body and upper body. You get that pulling motion that most people need, and the squat's always a great exercise to throw in with that. The TRX skull crusher, kind of going back to old school bodybuilding and bringing it to the functional fitness setting. One of the most common exercises you'll see is the skull crusher in old bodybuilding settings. So we kind of took that, but we did it with the TRX. So now you have to use your abs. You have to get that midline stabilization as you get a great triceps workout. From there, we went on to the wall ball. It's a squat and then just tossing a medicine ball up at a target. It's really good because it gets that combination of not just the lower body and the upper body, but it syncs the two together, and there is a degree of coordination to it that a lot of other exercises won't really get that well. From there, we decided to move outside of just the forward, backward, up and down, and we just decided to do some lateral movement. So we're doing the lateral lunges with the sliders. It's a great tool. It's actually just furniture sliders that we have. So they were $10 for 4 of them. at Home Depot. So inexpensive tool that people can use at home, and a great way to build hip strength and to get you moving outside of just that forward, backward realm that we see all too often at the gym. And then lastly, we finished that with the sled pull and push. So we attached the ropes to the sled, had our clients pulling relatively heavy weight towards them, and once they got the sled to them, they would push it back. So again, as you can see, pretty much everything here is a great combination of not just one body part, but we're getting everything involved as we're doing this. So it was a great workout. I heard everyone enjoyed it, so that makes me happy.
So Jeremy will go over the overhead press.
Okay, on overhead press, she mentioned we have the 3 different variations. The Olympic bar, which I'm going to demonstrate with the PVC, kettlebells or dumbbells, your choice. I'm going to go over the variants for you. Kettlebells, I want you to get into a rack position. Rack position, elbows are tucked, weights in, all right? And you're gonna press up. Biggest mistake people are gonna do is gonna come back down and stop here. Don't do that, always in a rack position. All right, you're gonna press forward, ribs down, shoulders on line, neck is tucked, see how that's tucked? Back down, all right? This one's a little more difficult to get out of a push press because you wanna absorb the weight when you come down. You tend to do this and load from there. Try to control the weight, the whole way down, keeping the power stance and pressing just from the shoulders. All right, that way you're not push pressing through. On your dumbbells, rib cage down, all right? Everything's tight, you're gonna press straight up, power stance. Back down, press straight up. Here, be this. Press straight up and down. Every time you wanna finish on line, neck tuck. Never out here, never way back here, never lose your lower back. Olympic bar, I want you to grab a grip in the front. Notice the form is very similar to the rack position. So if I were to get under this bar, I'm rack positioned here. You're gonna hear me use terminology called load and explode. I want you to load your delts with such force that you're pulling down on the bar. Everyone see the bend in the bar? Okay, so you get underneath the bar, you're gonna load your delts, look at my back, I'm gonna curl everything in, load my delts, and I'm gonna explode, tucking my head slightly forward, right? Rib cage down, everything locked. Load, explode. That aggressive breathing keeps my rib cage down so I don't bend, right? A lot of times we get real tired, we get a heavy weight. The very first thing we do in this maneuver is this. Don't do that, all right? Rib cage down, load, explode. Load, explode. You'll see that the best with this bar, but I can make the variants with the other two. Yeah, so make sure you get in the in-front rack position. Good. I got sound a lot of times we get tired, and this is what we want to do to hold the weight. That's on my biceps, but I really want to bring it in here. There you go. And you're just doing 3, and so you're good with it. You're just gonna do 3 reps and do the 8 sets. So get to the point where that 3rd rep is kind of shaky. That's what you're gonna build to. What's the rest? For the strength rest, you're gonna work off your ATP and CP. It's your adenosine triphosphates and your creatine phosphates, which will take about 6 minutes to restore, but you don't wanna do all that. So if you were to give yourself a 30-minute break between max press, a 30-second break between max presses, you'll be well enough recovered. What you don't want is to be at such a low weight that you do the 3, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do 3 more. You actually wanna have that point of breathe, calm down. Killing it. Sit down just a little bit more. Level, right? So I want all this to be on the same level plane. All right, so shoulders up. Feel like you're trying to break an egg right here. There you go. So you're super flex there. Sit down a little bit on your hips and bring this straight. So instead of here, see I'm bending? Yeah. I'm gonna get a little bit wider stance, sit on my hips, and straighten out. So, there you go. Just straighten out a little bit more here. Good, let me see if I can get. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Finished. So get you set up. Good. And you can slide underneath. I should just slide under. There you go.
Go right into the other one?
Yeah, right into the other one. Head up, back straight. Pretend that this is one solid bar, and for show and tell here, I'll use this bar for you because it was easier for last class. So then you have one solid bar, right? And so what you're trying to do is keep your whole body level, don't lose your hips, tighten your hips, lower your core, and you're gonna bend at your elbows, keeping your wings tucked in until the bar would come to your forehead and you press off, right?
Notice the bar doesn't change position. It stays in the same place in space.
And I press off. All right, so I'm not losing my core, my ribs are down, my wings are in, I'm not out here like this, right? Keeping the wings in, elbows in, and press off. Now you're gonna take that same concept and put it to the free range bar. All right, so right here you lose the stability. Same thing though, bring it in and up.
So all he's doing is bending at the elbow. The only joint that's moving is his elbow. All right, so everybody got that? All right, the third one is wall ball, which is the high toss to the dot.
Yeah, I got you.
I think we all kind of know, right? Just squat, toss. Huh? All right, so the fourth exercise is the lateral slider lunge. So essentially it is a side lunge. We're gonna do an overhead, we're gonna extend our arms up overhead like a touchdown, right? So the foot that's moving to the outside is on the slider, arms extended up overhead, palms facing forward, obviously right and left. All right, and then everybody's based on the sled pull and the sled push. So you're gonna pull the sled, we know pulling the sled, right? So nice and braced, get braced. You can do hand over. I want everybody to notice, try not to wrestle it, okay? Just try to really engage your core for every pull instead of rocking around in there. I call it wrestling it. Arms extended, nice upright posture. Let's not do this, all right? Nice upright posture, and then just push the sled. Use your butt, that's what it's for.
Yeah,
so
makes it more difficult.
Pull, push, pull, push. So however long it takes that person is however long you're in that other exercise. And we'll let you know when to change sides.
Elbows in, perfect. So bring it in, elbows in, back up. There you go. And just keep the elbows in, wings tucked. As much as possible, just rank them in, press. If it's getting too difficult, take a couple steps out because you're just gonna adjust the weight. Because you're going for time here. Good. Good job. Good. Remember, guys, press from the down position. That's all your power comes from down here. And press. All your power and press. Good. Good. Good breathing.
So take those arms, guys, when you're on that slider. As you slide out, they rotate up over your head like a touchdown, right? Try to keep those arms as straight as you can, palms facing in.
Sit into it, sit into it, sit into it. Sit into it, good. Good.
Keep the hands right there for your forehead.
Good.
Yeah, see how that's a challenge? So walk your feet
Push, push, push. Good, push through. Good dig, good dig. Come on, Gary.
Couple things, guys, while you're getting a sip of water, just hear me out. One, when you're doing the sliders, I want a vertical shin position, so I don't want you all kneeing, okay? Get that shin vertical. With the rope, chest stays tall, so don't go into this cage position. And then when you're doing the slow brushes, if you feel like you're leaving your butt behind and you're doing this, get a little bit taller, bring your hips along with you. You're probably a little bit too advanced, too inclined, and you feel like you're leaving your hips behind. Cool?
Come on in, let's do a little breathing. All right. Just a little inhale, exhale maybe. Not a little impact. Let's just go in for a nice big breath. Reach up really nice and high. Clear out those lungs. Exhale. Let's get that heart rate down. Breathe up. And exhale. Let's just stretch up nice and tall. Excellent job, and especially for I know that sled's tough. You're gonna have killer triceps tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Well done, everybody.
Ready?
Well done.
1, 2, 3, impact!
Good job, everybody. Well done. Gary, as always,
Workout.
killing it, man.